Sí.
That's it. This is in English, and we are going to start. First of all, what's your name?
Okay, my name is Carlos. Carlos
Carlos.
Salinas. Yes.
Very good. Thanks, Carlos. In this case, just we are going to answer some questions that language and culture ask as a subject. Yes.
Sure.
The first question is, what do you think about the culture?
Which one?
The culture, I think, I consider in this case is about American or England in culture.
Okay. Well, as a teacher, I believe that knowing one's culture is very important. And as a coordinator, I believe that exposing students to that kind of diversity is very important. Specifically because there are certain expressions and words in the English language called idioms. These idioms are what we call, well, we have colloquial expressions here in Colombia, like, for example, parce, things like that. And those little things are important to teach the students because they are a very important part of what is the language in any given country, specifically in mine, which is the United States. And I'm sure that someone from England or Australia or New Zealand, they have their own little way of saying things.
Okay, thanks. Question number 2, say, what is the influences of culture in the process of foreign language process?
Well, let's just say that the influence, in my opinion, is not major. It is important to understand that the students need to know these little things. However, the English language is universal. The grammar is the same here and there. So, in teaching English, it's more important to understand the language as a whole, as a complete and understandable process, rather than just teach students little idioms here and there. So, in some way, it does influence, but I don't think it's of the utmost importance. Let's call it 30%.
Okay, good. Question number 3, say, how do you involve culture in the strategies you use in your English classes? Give a real example.
Okay, one of the things that we use here are the immersion trips. Now, the immersion trips are something that British College does every month. Basically, what we do is we pick a teacher and they take the students outside for a little field trip. The last one we did was to the Museum of Antioquia, I think. Yes, I don't remember. It was to a museum. And in the museum, the teachers would tell the students stories of their own experience in museums, and let's just say they were trying to teach Colombian culture in English, which makes it a little bit more difficult. That is one example of an activity that we use here as a teaching tool.
Okay, good. Number 4, what do you consider are the most important elements to succeed in the second language learning?
Consistency
Okay.
and discipline. If you don't have either one of those, you're never going to learn the language.
Good, very good.
And obviously, but you need proper teachers. I mean, if you have a teacher that doesn't know the language, then it's just not going to happen.
Okay, very good. Number 5, are the students interested in learning about another culture or just the language?
Actually, they're very interested in other cultures. Specifically here in British College, they like to learn from native teachers. They like to learn from their experiences in different countries. They like to learn those little differences in cultures. For example, in the States you would say apartment, and in England you would say flat. In the States you would say gas. In England you would say petrol. Those little differences, they find those differences fascinating. And quite frankly, so do I. And so do most teachers.
Okay, good. And finally, and again, number 6, do you consider to teach grammar based in culture or similar methodology in the institution?
We do not. I think grammar is grammar, here and everywhere else. However, since we have a great variety of teachers, some are from the United States, some are from England, some are from Australia, some have very interesting backgrounds. Let's just say each teacher, they have their own methodology and their own way of teaching whatever subject they're teaching. As for me, I don't teach grammar based on culture. I just